Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to be going over a potential wildcard draft for game week 11. So if you're excited for the video, make sure to drop a like down below, leave a comment if you activating your wildcard this week, subscribe if you're brand new. With all of that out of the way, let's get into the video and I really hope that you enjoy. So, starting things off, in goal we do have Gaeta and Ward. Ward, I feel like I'm a broken record right now, but he's just a playing keeper. He's cheap. I know he's playing for Leicester. Isn't exactly the best keeper in the league. Probably one of the worst, to be fair. But either way, he's a playing keeper. If anything does happen to Gaeta, you've got a backup keeper just in case. But Gaeta is your main keeper in this draft. Has some really nice fixtures coming up. Leicester, Wolves, Everton, Southampton, and West Ham, all in the next 5. He's just a nice keeper to have up until the game week 16, like free transfers, extra wildcard situation we've got going on for the World Cup. Picked up 3 points in game week 10. Was a little bit unlucky not to get a clean sheet as well. I feel like that Leeds goal definitely could have been stopped. But yeah, I think Crystal Palace will get a lot more clean sheets over the next 5. Honestly, against like Wolves, I could see a clean sheet. I could see a clean sheet against Southampton, potentially Leicester, potentially Everton as well. I could see at least 2 clean sheets in the next 5 for Gaeta. So for 4.5 mil, it's not too bad. The other options, of course, are like Raya, who's got some okay fixtures, but Brentford are just conceding goals left, right, and centre at the moment. They just conceded another 5 against Newcastle at the weekend. There's also Pope as well. He's got United this week. And then he's got Everton, which is really nice for game week 12 because that's the tough game week where, of course, City and Arsenal blank. So you kind of need a lot of good players there with good fixtures to try and get a lot of points to make up for those blanks. And yeah, obviously Nick Pope does have Everton in that game, but then they've got Tottenham away after that as well. So I think Wolves at home is a really nice fixture. Gaeta, they're currently managerless as well, so yeah, I think Gaeta for me is a better option, a little bit cheaper than Pope as well, and those funds will help you elsewhere in your team. So those are the 2 goalkeeper options. The back line consists of James, Cancelo, Dunk, Trippier, and Justin. So yeah, James is really annoying to own at the moment, but I can't see myself like not owning him. Like, obviously came on for a cameo against Wolves at the weekend, which of course if he played that game would have got a clean sheet, potentially an attacking return as well. Chelsea really dominated that game. Obviously resting him for like the Champions League and stuff, which is fair enough, but as a James owner, really annoying. But I can just still see him like hauling in one of the next few games. Like Villa, if he plays that, he can haul against Brentford. They've also got Brighton as well in there, which again he could technically like haul against, you don't know. They do have United and Arsenal in those in the next 5 as well, but just for like 6.1 mil or 6 mil, whatever he is right now, I just think his potential is so good. And he's one of those players when when you finally get rid of him, that's the week that he hauls. So yeah, James is in this team. Cancelo, I know that he blanks in game week 12 and has Liverpool this week, but I just can't see. There's no way you can get rid of Cancelo. He's just too good. I know a lot of people are kind of opting in for like 3 City midfielders, well, 2 City midfielders, and then like Haaland up top, which fair play, like De Bruyne, Foden, and Haaland, but I just think Cancelo's potential is so good, and especially with the clean sheets that they're going to have coming up after the blank. They've got like Brighton, Leicester, Fulham, and then a lot of other like teams that they should pick clean sheets up against. So yeah, I just think with Walker out as well, his potential is just like gone through the roof. I've also brought Duncan as well. This is kind of just a player that you're just going to own for the next 2. Obviously has Forest at home in the game week 12 blank, so really nice fixture there for Brighton. They probably will keep a clean sheet in that game. As much as it pains me to say that as a Forest fan, I can't see Brighton conceding in that game. And then you've also got him for Brentford this week as well, but you'll get rid of him in game week 13. I'll talk more about that in a little bit, but either way, he's in there for only 4.6. Trippier, another really good option. Again, loves a bonus point. Everton at home in game week 12. Sandwiched between 2 tough fixtures as well. United and Tottenham, both away games as well, but I just think Trippier is such a good option, and he is just shooting up in price as well. So he's just one of those players that ticks along. Like, even though they conceded at the weekend, he still picked up like 2 bonus or something. So just a really nice option. And then I've also brought Justin in as well. Leeds at home in game week 12, so quite a nice fixture. But again, you're going to be playing these players because most people are going to own like at least 3 of either Arsenal or like a combination of Arsenal and City, so they're obviously all going to be on the bench. So you kind of need 3 playing players. You need like the other 11 players definitely playing. So that's the back line. I think that's a decent back line though for game week 12. You'd obviously have James away at Brentford. You'd have Dunk at home to Forest. You'd have Trippier at home to Everton, and then you'd also have Justin at home to Leeds. So not a bad back line at all there. Coming into midfield, in midfield though, we do have Martinelli. We have Zaha, Maddison, Trossard, and Andreas Pereira. So Martinelli leads away, and then a blank. Just cannot see a world where you should be getting rid of Martinelli. Some people are selling him because of the blank, but he's just such a nice option. You just bench him because he's just so good for that price point as well. Like, honestly, it should be a staple in every single team. He's a little bit like Haaland. Like, Haaland's kind of essential. I feel like Martinelli is as well. He's just like starting every single game. He's so cheap. He's such an attacking threat as well. Yeah, I honestly think he's essential this season. I think if you don't have Martinelli, as again, just got 12 points at the weekend as well. He's capable of those kind of hauls. So yeah, we've also brought in Zaha as well, who's got Wolves at home in game week 12. Again, hopefully get something out of that game. Obviously got an assist against Leeds, but yeah, again, we all know how good Crystal Palace's fixtures are, so that's kind of why he's in the team as well. On penalties too, so not a bad option at all. And then we've also gone with Maddison as well. Definitely a captaincy option in game week 12 along with Zaha. Yeah, he's got Leeds at home, so again, not on penalties and stuff, but on quite a few set pieces for 8 mil as well. Did only pick up 1 point, but obviously an 18-point haul against Forest, so yeah, he's in the team. We've also gone Trossard as well, just simply because, you know, Brentford away and then Forest at home in game week 12. Really, really nice fixtures there. And yeah, I think he's capable of hauling against Forest as well. Again, as much as I don't want to say it, I think he could go. I think he could bang in that game, and then you just get rid of him in game week 13. I'll talk about like the transfer kind of plan with this team in a minute, but yeah, Trossard and Donkey kind of going to be dropping in game week 13 if you want, but you're kind of keeping them in just for these next 2 game weeks. But either way, he makes the team. And then finishing off the midfield, we have Andreas Pereira as well. Scored at the weekend, but again, he's just going to be there for. Mainly bench fodder, but does obviously have Villa at home in game week 12, which obviously is a nice fixture for him. And then up top, a couple of flagged players, but these should all be fine. But of course, we'll have to wait and see for like press conferences and stuff like that. But we've got Kane, we've got Mitrovic, and then we've got Haaland. So of course, Haaland you're going to bench in game week 12, as everyone will be. Mitrovic, again, he is still flagged, did miss out against West Ham, but Marco Silva did say that he's definitely going to make it for the Bournemouth game in game week 11, and then you have him for game week 12 as well. On penalties, a lot of people are offloading him as well, so you know, if you bring him in and he does bang against Bournemouth or Villa, it's going to be really, really nice. So yeah, again, we'll have to wait for press conferences, but like I say, Marco Silva in the last one did say that, you know, Mitrovic should, you know, he'll definitely be back for Bournemouth. So yeah, that's why Mitrovic makes the wild card. And then Kane as well, just ticking over every single week. Did pick up a knock, but Kane himself said, you know, he didn't think it was anything serious. We'll have to wait for like Champions League games and stuff like that to see if he does start. But yeah, he's pretty much going to be fine. So these 2 players are flagged, but they'll be fine like by the time the game week 11 rolls around. So this is the game week 11 wild card. So let's talk through kind of like transfers or other options that you can make and stuff. So with this, you do have, well, I still have 2.2 mil in the bank. So you would use that money to upgrade like Trossard and stuff in game week 13. So obviously you have this team for game week 11, and then you roll for game week 12. So you'd have two transfers in game week 13, and you would use those 2 transfers to get rid of your Brighton players, because they then have City and Chelsea in game week 13. So for me, what I would potentially do is get rid of Dunk and bring in Saliba, who's obviously a really good option in that Arsenal back line, because game week 13 is when Arsenal's fixtures get really good as well. Southampton and Forest. Yeah, Chelsea's a tough fixture, but apart from that, there's just like a sea of green fixtures on either side. So we all know how good Saliba's been this season as well. So I would get rid of Dunk for Saliba, and I'd still have 1.8 mil in the bank, and then I would just get rid of Trossard, and then it's kind of just up to you. Like, you've got 8.6 mil in the bank, give or take probably like 0.2 mil. You've got enough to bring in like an 8 mil player, and so with that, you either bring in the likes of Bowen, you can bring in Foden, you can bring in Saka. There's a lot of really good options to bring in for that midfield. So let's say you bring in, I don't know, Foden has some really nice fixtures, and of course you only have 2 City players at the moment as well, so you can bring in like any City player you want. But let's say you bring in Foden, who obviously will have Brighton and then Leicester, then Fulham, and that would be your team for like game week 13, which of course is still a really, really nice team. And then you've still got 0.4 mil in the bank if you do need anything else. Another kind of thing you could do instead of Foden, let's go back to Trossard there. Instead of Foden and instead of kind of like Kane and stuff like that, if you did want to go a little bit different for this wildcard draft, let's say like Kane was out, instead of Kane you could bring in like maybe Tony. I guess he's on penalties and stuff like that, but then you have 6.4 mil in the bank, and then instead of Andreas Pereira, you could bring in someone like Bowen, and then after like game week 12 in the blank, you've still got 2.8 mil in the bank, and then you upgrade Trossard to a Saka or a Foden or something like that. The reason that I've gone, like, I guess you could go Bowen over Trossard for this game week and stuff. But if you compare the two players, you've got Bowen, who's got Southampton away and then Liverpool away, and then obviously, you know, he's got Bournemouth, which of course you could bring him in for Trossard that week, as opposed to Trossard, who has Brentford and Forest. So it's honestly, who do you think is going to score more out of these two players? You know, Trossard with Brentford away and then Forest at home, or Bowen with Southampton and then Liverpool away at home. So away, should I say? So personally, I think Trossard outscores Bowen. But if you think Bowen outscores Trossard, you can just not bring in Trossard. You can just bring in Bowen instead for game week 11, and then you don't even have to worry about that. You can just kind of save a transfer down the line. But I kind of like the Trossard sort of move. But like I say, if you didn't want to bring Trossard in, you just wanted to go Bowen straight away, you can still easily do that. You still got 0.9 in the bank, and then you just bring like Saliba in or something for game week 13. But I personally prefer the Trossard move, but that's just my kind of idea. So if I was going to wildcard this week, it'd be something like that, and then your next two moves are kind of like sorted as well. Of course, injuries can happen and everything, which can, you know, throw a spanner in the works, but, you know, all things like standard and everything, and you get no injuries, then that would be what I'd do. I'd get rid of Dunk and Trossard for Saliba, and then either Foden, Saka, Bowen, any of these players in game week 13. But either way, that's the wildcard draft for game week 11. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please do consider hitting the like button down below. Let's try and hit 50 likes. Leave a comment, are you wildcarding this week, or are you going to wait until after the blanks? Subscribe if you're brand new, ring the notification bell. It's everything from me though. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and until next time, peace.